Welcome to Ekatari Fashion. If you want to learn how I made this Ankara shirt for my son, then stay tuned and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So the first thing you need to do is to get the front block. So to get the front block, you just need to fold your fabric into two. Okay, so your chest measurement plus 4" for ease. I didn't say sewing allowance, for ease. Okay, then you can add your sewing allowance later. So for instance, if you had 20 for the chest measurement, you add 4 for ease. That will be 24. Divide that by 4 now, it will give you 6. So that is going to be your width measurement. So you place it at 6 and add an extra sewing allowance. So I got 8. Okay, next you get the length. So for the length, you just add 1" for the folding. So I got 20 for my son. I measured 21, okay, in the front block. That's me measuring it. And the next thing you need to do is cut it out. Okay, so I'm pressing it to lay down and then I'll just cut it off. So for the back, you are going to do the same thing, but there's a little difference with the back. The difference with the back is that the length is longer by 4". You are going to see the reason why it is longer as we proceed. So this is me folding it again into two and looking for the best part to cut my back block from, because I'm trying to manage the fabric so that I'll have enough fabric to get my sleeve and my facings from. So this is me doing that, looking for the best place. I think I got what I wanted now. Okay, so I just measured it and I realized that it's going to be enough for me to get my ease and my sewing allowance, although it's a little bit smaller in width, but it's not going to affect my measurements. So I just added my 4, okay, to the length. So this is 25 instead of 21 that we did for the front panel. Okay, so I measured the length of 25 and I decided to cut it off. So the next thing we are going to do is to bring the front panel and place it on the back one. Okay, so when you place the front bodies on the back one, in my own case, I know that the front is a bit wider because I added more allowance there and I was managing for the back, so I just trimmed it off. It's not going to affect my measurement because there's enough allowance. Next thing is for me to get my shoulder slant. Okay, so you just come down by 1". Our shoulders are not straight. Come down by 1". Mark it, okay, or 2, and slant it. However you want your slant, you can take the measurements. So bring it down, bring the front panel down and fold that extra. You see that extra fold that we had, I'm just folding it over that back extra that we had. I'm folding over the front. Okay, I just fold it over to lap. Now I get my shoulder. So it was 14 divided by 2 plus half. Okay, so that's 7.5. Then come down to the chest line. Okay, when you're measuring, you get your chest line, you get your waistline. Okay, so now I want to get my waistline. Okay, so for me the waistline was 10.5, so I'll just mark the point. That's my waistline. Okay, so now I'll just get the chest divided by 4, which was 6, remember? So 6, I'll just add allowance of 1 for sewing. Okay, the waist divided by 4 too, just divide the waist by 4. That is me dividing it on my tape rule. So whatever you get, you place it there. Okay, and the down parts can be same as your chest, right? So I want to have a straight line there because there's going to be slits there. Then join the points that you marked. So this is me joining it. Then the second line is for the allowance. Okay, so that is me having my armhole, trying to draw my armhole. Okay, drawing my lines properly. So the next thing I need to do now is to get my neck measurement. I did 3 by 3. My son's neck is 13. Okay, so what I want to get here now for this circle is 6.5. That's 13 divided by 2, which is 6.5. So I'm trying to make a circle and using my tape measure to measure it to see that I have the value that I need. Once I get that, I'm just going to cut it off. But you will notice that when I am cutting off the neck, I'm just going to be cutting from the upper flap. I'm not going to be cutting all the neck together. Okay, I'll raise the flap, you can see. So once you raise the flap up, just cut it round, follow the line, cut it round and get into the front wherever your circle stops. So that's what you are going to do. Okay, so that is me now trying to cut the back armhole. I'm cutting the back first because the front is going to be deeper by 1/2 inch. I'll just raise the flap up and just cut 1/2 inch inwards for the front, so the front will be deeper. See, so I just took off 1/2 inch at that point for the front part, and this is me cutting my fabric at the allowance. You notice 2 lines there, so I cut outside my sewing allowance. So that's that for the basic bodice. So now I want to make the sleeve. If you are enjoying this video, kindly help me and subscribe. So now I'm getting my armhole measurement, which is 6. It's going to give me a rough estimate of what I want to get. Okay, so -1 from that 6, I got 5. Now my length, okay, the length of the sleeve plus 2, I want to fold 2 inside. So you see me draw 2 lines. That's the real length and the allowance. Okay, so now that 5 that I have, that's the armhole -1, we gave me 5. I'll just do a curve to that point, just that way, and then my round sleeve. Okay, I'm taking my round sleeve measurements, which is 5. So I'll just draw my curve and then join it at that 5. You can see what I did, and you just cut it out, and that's the end of it. You have your Ankara cut out. Okay, next thing is you just need to do your facing and open the front, and you have your beautiful Ankara top. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Cheers. Bye.